All right, babies, it's that time again. Just finished my coffee. Not feeling particularly inspired today, so this should be interesting. Let's see if I can rise to the occasion. I thought I was going to play piano yesterday because my streaming platform ended yesterday, but I thought I might want to start a new platform yesterday, which is really problematic. So if anybody knows of any, please let me know, because there's an issue with jamming to copyrighted music. Yeah, but I just wasn't feeling it. So I'm like, all right, just follow the Spirit of God. Don't force yourself. And so I just immediately got into searching the web for historical evidence for when Abraham was supposed to have lived, when monotheism became predominant in Israel. And it was just hard to find, and I just got really frustrated with that. And I did look at something in Genesis, but that didn't last long, and it wasn't really inspirational. So I'm just going to forget that. So, yeah, it kind of came up like a dud kind of evening. Got good news in my finances, though. I told you that I'm in a real tough spot right now because I can't access some money in Bitcoin. I need somebody to help me with that. But I've been living really frugally, and I was able to save $150 in doing so, and I've got my bills in kind of a way where it looks like I might be able to maintain that. So that was good news. Thankful for that. I have a meeting today for a student. I'm a special ed teacher. I work mostly with suicidal girls who are placed residentially in our program. We also have both boys and girls who are day students who get transported to us. But today I have a meeting for one of them, and it's my job to put together their annual goals. Yeah, baby. How about that for a job? So what can I say about that? Because I've been saying how, if you just look around, there's always an example of something right around you that is can be used instrumentally for your spiritual development and/or checking on the oncoming traffic. That's my 370,000-mile engine roaring. Yeah, there's always something that it can be used for inspiration and such. So I'm thinking like this annual test that I'm putting together. It's like you have to, if you don't have enough data, it's like nearly impossible to put something together that's going to be relevant for the student, because each of us grows at a different rate, that type of thing. So in relating that to God and growing in God, I have found like the opposite to be more instructive and useful And that is, I find like the less goals I have for myself, the better off I am. And by that I mean, instead of having everything planned out, you know, I need to do this, and I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. It just becomes sort of like overwhelming, right? And then you don't even want to get started. So on the flip side of that, I found it's more, you can get to all those laudable benchmarks if you sort of forget about them and just enjoy being a vessel for God. And that's kind of where I've landed my whole life. Now sometimes that's worked and sometimes it hasn't. So it doesn't work if you're just like, oh, well, God's going to take care of it. Oh, I'm just trusting God. When really what you're doing is you're forgetting about God. So there's kind of a fine line between forgetting God and trusting God. And it has to do with just your intention. So it's kind of like what I do is I keep reminding myself that I'm a vessel of God. I'm a vessel of God, kind of a thing. I mean, I'm not saying that to myself. I'm not repeating those words to myself, but the mindset of being empty, ready for anything, what's in front of me, just deal with it sort of on the fly, sort of like a jazz musician would do, which is part of the reason why I like improv so much. And I don't like practicing. I don't want to practice a scale. I don't want to practice execution. Again, all of that just sounds to me like boring discipline. I'd rather get right into it, even, you know, musically, if it's interesting to me, something, either the rhythm or the melody or the texture, something about the arrangement I like, just get right into it and start putting my own notes in with the song. And immediately I'm playful as a child in a sandbox and just enjoying myself, watching myself grow, connected to the energy of the music. And so I kind of live my life like that. You know, if you keep your mind uncluttered with worry and planning, and you just kind of be happy, you know, you're loved by God, so much so that He wants to take complete residence in you, and you can ensure that that happens by watching yourself and living with a clear conscience that you're not acting out of fear or I'll call it maladaptive coping strategies. That's what we call it in special education. You know, where kids will deal with their frustrations in a way that's potentially going to cause them harm or someone else. That's what we call it. So you can kind of live in a way where you're choosing positive things. Oh, I need to do this. So instead of procrastinating, you do it. And you get into it, you give it your best shot. And I usually find when I do that, I enjoy what I'm doing. As opposed when I'm like trying to avoid something, I'm like, I don't really feel like doing that. Now it's just like all day long I'm thinking I really should be doing such and such, but I'm not going to do that. And it's not just work, it can be anything in your life, you know. So there you have it. Be a playful child. Be open for God to be in you. And watch what happens. You'll find yourself becoming more disciplined without having a plan. Yeah, baby. Enjoy.